Hi, I'm Tony DeLacy, and in this video I'd like to talk about self-love, the actual way of actually loving yourself. And not just self-love, because that might sound like a bit of a hippie way of thinking about it, but actually looking after yourself. Actually something greater than self-esteem. And it can manifest itself in self-love in a way, if you'd like to call it that. But there is an actual way of thinking about how you as an individual see yourself. Because how you see yourself affects how you act in the world. How you strive for things, strive for truth. How you look after yourself. How much you feel you deserve. The motivation to make yourself better. Now, if we can encompass that all in self-love, then so be it. But maybe we should go with it, for argument's sake. That when I say self-love, I mean something much greater than that. And something much more tangible. Now, you've come here to this video hoping to hear something different. And you will. Because there are loads of videos and texts, things you can read, listen, watch, that will tell you largely the same thing. And that's probably not good enough for you. And that's why you're here. Hoping to get another take on it. You'd be right for thinking that. So what is everyone telling you? What is the usual mantra you get when it comes to trying to love yourself, being more compassionate towards yourself, being more fair to yourself, and feeling comfortable in your skin? What is everyone telling you? What are the things that you hear on cheesy videos that tell you the very simple fact? Well, to them, it is a very simple fact, and that is, love yourself as you are now. And you can do it, so they say. You could just love yourself if you repeat the words, "I love myself," every now and again. They say that nothing is technically stopping you from loving yourself, and they are right, but that's not good enough for you, is it? They make it sound so easy. But it isn't, is it? It's not enough for you. You're perfect just the way you are, so you can love yourself. That is the general idea. But that's not good enough for you. I know it isn't, because it wasn't good enough for me when I looked at it and tried to get some truth out of it and feel better. So there must be something else to it. Because they're not wrong, so to speak, but I wanted to know why it wasn't helping. And so do you. You want to know why it's not as easy as just going, "I love myself." Is everything better? No. No, it isn't. And that's okay, because that's not the whole truth of it. Certainly not to a great extent. So, what is it? What is the way to actually love yourself? If it's not in this moment that you're with me right now. Well, the actual truth is, you can love yourself. Emphasis on the word can. I.e., it is a future concept. It's not something you can gain now, though it is technically possible. But it's not good enough. What you actually have to do is think of a sense of you, individually, very specific to you. So there can't be a one-size-fits-all of what I want myself to be. You think of all the things that mean so much to you. To you. Not to everyone else, to you. You think of the best version of yourself. A version of you you could love. That could be you with, I don't know, further down the path of what you actually want to do in your life, for example. Further down and achieving so much. Say you love creating videos, for example. So a version that you could love is someone who is making videos. Have that image of you, that much more perfect you in your head. A version of you, you could say, yes, that is someone I could love. And it doesn't matter if that person you're thinking of you is so different to who you are now. It doesn't matter. It could be quite similar or very, very different. Take the time to think. Take the time to think, what is it that I need? What is it that I can do to make myself feel better so I can love myself? Because that's what you need to do. You need, in order to love yourself, the life of someone that you love. The version of you that you love. It's not good enough to say you're okay just the way you are, because you can think of all of these things going on in your life that you're doing wrong. If you're honest with yourself, if you take 10, 20 minutes just to think of all the stupid things that you're doing in your life, all the things you know you could be doing better. Take some time to think. I'll give you a jumping off point. Think of what you want to be. And probably one of the reasons why you're not doing it at the moment is because you're not using the time to get there. You're wasting time, probably. If you're honest with yourself, think about it. How many hours a day are you wasting watching TV? Or doing something you feel isn't productive towards that perfect future person of you? Your full potential, so to speak. Be honest. Look, if it's an hour or two, doesn't matter, that's a decent amount of time throughout the day to really pursue what you want to do and want to be. But be honest with yourself. How many hours are you not doing something that's working towards your a version of you that you could love? Think about it. And if you're still doing that, how can you love yourself, knowing full well you are wasting so much of your own time? Well, there's just one way, and you can look and say, actually, there are a few things I could sort out. Time wasting is one of them, for sure. Not that you should feel bad of the way that you've been living. That's one of the hardest things to see, is how far apart we are from where we want to be. Because we feel that we've wasted time in a way. But if you start thinking now, take the opportunity to actually think of all the things you need to do, that you need to stop doing, that you need to take up doing in order to get to where you want to be. If you start doing that, if you start asking the questions, then it doesn't matter what you did in the past, because, if anything, the fact that you did it, you now know what you don't want to do. Call it trial and error. It's simple science, but applied to you and the way you live, it can make all the difference. Think of it as destiny, if you like. That it got you to this moment, looking for help, looking for advice. So now you can look back on your past and go, well, that's why, and now I know what to do, or what not to do. Think of your past as all of the clues to know what you need to do and what you want to be in the future. It's part of the journey. So you build yourself up towards that. Build yourself up towards being the better, greater version of you. Now, that might take a bit of soul searching in a way, because you might be thinking, well, how good could I be? How much potential do I feel I have? Well, that's very individual to you. But in an ideal world, and this is the ideal world that we're trying to create with you, only you in mind, what are your limits? What would stop you from going all the way to the top? The greatest potential you could be. Now, I'm not suggesting for a moment that your potential best version of you is someone who can fly or have super strength powers, though you could go to the gym, you could get there. But think, what are the things that mean the most to you? What are the things that you actually feel so much meaning in the pursuit of it? Think of the most amazing way that you could live, with meaning at the forefront. Think about it. What are the limits? The limits are what you can physically not do. And you'll find that actually there's so much you can do. There's the hint. The reason why you don't love yourself now, and maybe are thinking this is quite tricky, Tony, is because you don't actually realize just how powerful you are individually. You haven't realized it. If you did, everything I've been telling you would come as standard, very obvious. But you're not, and you're here with me, and it's okay. Because perhaps no one has told you in your life just how powerful you are. Or maybe you feel like you haven't been given the necessary evidence from externally to tell you just how powerful you are. Funnily enough, you don't actually need any external acceptance, because the world isn't necessarily going to give that to you. So, in a sense, you make your own reasons for understanding just how powerful you are. And I know you're powerful. I know I don't even have to know you individually to know just how powerful you are and just how much potential you have. Because you are human, living in the 21st century where so much is technically possible. Technology is at your fingertips to make what you want it to be. And you're human. Your brain is incredibly amazing and intelligent and smart and sophisticated and able to do so much that you want to do. So the reason you don't love yourself right now is you don't realize just how much potential you have and how much you can actually achieve. So of course, saying you're brilliant just the way you are isn't good enough, because you don't believe it. You don't believe that you're powerful. And that's really sad. But my message to you is you are more powerful than you can possibly imagine. And how do I know? I haven't met a single person who doesn't have that incredible potential. It's impossible, because everyone is such an incredible individual. All they need to do is believe it. Think that they can do it. And you can do it. Not by thinking I'm perfect just the way I am, because then what's the point? If I'm perfect just the way I am, then I can't improve. So you have to take a semblance of your possible future self. If you read Marcus Aurelius, you take an idea of your possible future self, you become humble, you gain humility that who you are now is not good enough. If you're asking the questions of how do I love myself, you know you're not good enough. You know there are things that you have yet to unlock. You have yet to learn. And just by watching this video, I know you are more than open and willing to learn. If you weren't, you wouldn't watch this video at all. So already you've unlocked an openness, a willingness to learn. And I'm telling you, you are more powerful than you think you are. You just have to be humble that where you are now isn't good enough. You can probably agree with that. And say, okay, what do I need? What more do I need to get? What is the pathway? Now, you'll probably get an idea of it. And maybe as you go along, you might come back to this video and go, Tony, I'm struggling to get that. Or maybe the path is that my possible future self, that path is slightly changing. What's going on there? Your potential should be as wide-ranging as possible, really. But it's fine, because if you're working towards it, then as long as you're working towards it, working towards improving your life, making it better, being honest, speaking the truth, manifesting your life as getting better, it doesn't actually matter too much if you get to exactly where you want to or not. It's a goal, fine. But the parameter, and you get up with the parameters for success. But the parameters for failure aren't, well, I didn't quite get exactly to that goal. The parameters for failure is only not doing it. Or going, nope, where I am now is as good as it's ever going to get. But that will never be good enough for you. It'll be such an empty feeling. So pursuing a better life, predicated in a greater sense of your own moral virtue, integrity, honesty, truth, treating yourself like you matter because you do, treating yourself like you're responsible for yourself. Do that. Be good to yourself. Be good to other people. And always be good to other people. Because it'll help them. It'll help shine a light on them. There's a brilliant quote from one of my favourite films, Coach Carter, which is, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. I've held that with me since I was 12. And it's stuck with me. And probably from last year, that made so much sense. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We are afraid of it because we haven't got there. And we're annoyed with ourselves. Be honest, you're annoyed that you're not feeling amazing. So why didn't you start going there? Why don't you start orientating your life around being powerful, being fantastic, enjoying your life, pursuing the greatest meaning you can, picking up responsibility along the way? That's the secret to self-love. Is by accepting you're not good now. You're not okay now. But you could be. You will be. That's the person you love. That's how to say I love myself. And as you do, as you pursue it, you will learn to love yourself more and more. And life gets so much better. You'll be more comfortable in your own skin. And you'll be pursuing a higher, greater sense of being within you as an individual. Not reliant on other things. Because if you're reliant on other things, how could you possibly love yourself? You'll just love that instead. Easier. But it's never better. Self-love is consistent. It won't go away as long as you're pursuing the greatest, happiest, better, nicer way of being. It is your light that frightens you. Because you haven't got there yet. It's not shining yet. Or it's not shining as bright as you'd like it to. So go on. Make it brighter. You will love yourself for it. And on an offshoot, the future will become even more exciting because you know no matter what comes your way, no matter what the world will throw at you, it doesn't matter because you're pursuing something greater. There will be people shouting along the way, don't do it. Don't pursue something greater. Words that effect. Because there'll be the people who are content with not doing it. And you pursuing something greater will make them feel bad that they're not doing the same. Because they don't love themselves. So why should you? Because if you do, it'll make them feel worse. Or it could liberate them. Or it could show them the way. I'd rather it be the latter. I'd rather they joined me. I'd rather they joined you. Because we give people permission to go for it, to go for their truest potential. So that you could be the ripple that changes the lives of over 1,000 people in just around you, and those thousands could keep going and rippling into millions. Sure, that's quite a dreamy way of thinking about it, but why not find out? And it starts with you. It ends with you. Reaching something greater, a better version of you that you can love. And that's incredibly exciting. Pursue it. Pursue the greatest version of you, and you will learn to love yourself for it. Thank you.